What's going on, champs and chambettes? It's Monkey here, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be going over all of the brand new teasers regarding Chapter 4 Season 4, as well as some in-game changes that have gone live earlier today that are just kind of, normal hotfix changes. All of this stuff is, going to be a jam-packed episode because I had to add extra image layers to my recording software just because I've never had to use this many amount of images in a single video before. So we have a total of 8 brand new teasers to show to you guys. Some of them released after yesterday's video and everything, but some of them have just kind of, been brand new that we haven't seen before, so that is a pretty exciting thing to see. And it all starts off with this image on screen, which was the first teaser we had gotten after yesterday's video was actually recorded. This on its own isn't anything too crazy. It does give us an idea of, one of those little biomes and everything, what everyone thought was like a moon spaceship type of thing, and how it appears just to be kind of, like a rock formation structure as I had speculated before, and it showcases, just the generalized in-game design going on here. I know a lot of people have been talking about on Twitter how they've been getting ideas, like they've been getting vibes as if this was going to be, like an agency themed building or whatever, just based on the structure and how it's all set up. But on top of that, another thing I have seen people talk about is the fact that this looks like it's taking over the Citadel area. Just based on the whole entire placing and everything going on with the little design, people are thinking that this is actually where the Citadel was originally at, and this is going to just completely be pasted on top of it, meaning that that Citadel medieval area might become more of, like a beach vibey, jungly palm tree area. But of course that is just, the first teaser we actually ended up getting. The second teaser we ended up getting is called Security System, and it showcases a indoors area, and this also, plays into that whole Citadel thing even more, because if you look right here on the side, where the mountain, or I guess, rocks are or whatever, you can see the shields that were kind of from the Citadel and even, from the Colosseum from before. So unless this is just Kato Thorne's little collection area where they've collected things from the Citadel and, previous seasons, little medieval areas, people are speculating that this will be taking over and be pasted over on top of what the Citadel originally was. We can also see that crescent waning moon or whatever, vault in the background, and then we can see a chest here, some ammo box spawns and everything else. So it appears that vaults are still going to be a part of the new season. They're going to be something that we will be able to mess around with and enjoy as, the season progresses, and it could be a little bit of an interesting thing to, just kind of experience as we continue going through with whatever is happening with this new season. But of course, those were the first 2 teasers that we actually ended up getting after, yesterday's video, but it doesn't stop there because we got this teaser right here, which is an entire POI named the Sanguine Suites. Now, this definitely shows, more of that beach vibey area, because you kind of got like a resort little building in the background, but you also got a little beach, ocean vibe going on the side, where you can kind of just chill and relax or whatever else. Of course, you can't actually because this is a Battle Royale game, but of course you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here, and all of the buildings that are in all these teasers are all themed around the same thing, being that whole entire, waning moon, eclipse, blood moon type thing that we've been seeing constantly throughout this season. So it appears that all of the new buildings and everything, all the new POIs, are all going to relate to everything going on there, so that is going to be a fun little thing to experience. And then as we continue going forwards, we go to today, where we got this teaser earlier today, which had the caption of "Dream big, muscle in, big catch." This is a fish. This is a muscular fish. I don't know how else to describe it to you. It is a muscular fish, and that is all you really need to know. And I think in terms of just everything happening, right? In terms of this whole entire teaser and everything else, it is interesting to see how the meme skin of the season is going to be a fish. Now, I have seen some people on Twitter get a little upset over it, right? I've seen some people already try saying that this season's a flop or whatever else just because they saw the fish, and I'm like, I get it, the fish is kind of like a fish stick or a floppa, it's whatever, but at the same time, just because, this skin exists doesn't mean that the season's going to be inherently bad or anything else. But of course, this is one of the brand new skin teasers for, the new season. However, for the next skin we're showcasing, assuming it's the next image I have here, let me go ahead and check it might not be a Battle Pass skin, despite everyone saying it is. This right here is the Diamond Diller skin, and while yes, some people think it might be a Battle Pass skin, I think it's going to be similar to the high card NPCs we've had on the island, where it's a boss boss you're actually able to defeat. The reason I say this is because it's a teaser by the community. It's one of those creator teasers and not a teaser by Epic Games themselves, which makes me speculate more on if this is supposed to, be a Fortnite, skin that's in the battle pass, or if it's just supposed to be like a boss that you're going to be able to fight and everything else, since all of the creator teasers seem to be related to POIs and in-game mechanics instead of, oh, here is, a brand new skin coming to the game. So I highly think that, while this skin looks cool and I would love to have it as an actual skin in the game, I think it's just going to be one of those skins that, are for a boss NPC that you can actually fight, but it is called the Diamond Diller character. So if it does release, then we know that the Diamond Diller character is a actual skin in the game that exists and could technically just release at any time. But that was the first creator teaser from, last night, and everything came out at like 5 in the morning, and that's something you're going to be noticing as these teasers continue for the new season, is that all of them are kind of just happening all day. All day there's new teasers, just because of how they're doing it and how they're getting creators involved. But next up we have Midas's drum gun. That drum gun we had seen before in a previous teaser, it is Midas's, and it is something that, is going to just kind of be in the game for us to, use and everything. It does appear like it's going to be from the display cases in the vault, so it appears that, in the different vaults and everything around the game, you will be able to grab weapons from Kato Thorne's collection, with the drum gun being one of those weapons that are in Kato's collection. But of course that is just, a little bit of a theory. Regardless, we do know it is Midas's drum gun and not like a different drum gun, simply because of how they worded the original posts and everything, because in all of these posts they're like, oh, can you inform your group or whatever, kind of hype it up and everything, but by group they mean their social media presence, and then they'd be like, uploading image, and the image has the actual naming in it, and this image was named Midas Drum Gun, so that is how we know that it's not just, a normal drum gun, but instead it's the mythic version. However, it gets a little bit crazier from there, because we start getting into new weapon territory, such as the deployable briefcase auto turret. This is a briefcase that you'll be able to hold normally like you would if you just holding a briefcase in real life, and you'd be able to run around with it. However, you'll be able to deploy it on the ground, which makes me think that you'll be able to throw it from the handle, and wherever it lands, you can just have this turret that will be able to deal damage to enemies, animals, whatever else. While of course we don't know exactly how it's going to function, one-to-one or anything in the game, we do know that, based on how these type of weapons have worked before, that they do plan on making it, a pretty useful tool that you'll most likely throw in order to actually place down. And I think that, in terms of the health and everything on it, it's not going to be too crazy where, people are going to be able to easily shoot it down, destroy it or whatever else, but it will be interesting to see how it plays into the Fortnite game's balance, and just kind of crazy to see that we have a deployable turret in the game, right? I think that alone is just an interesting enough fact about this as a new weapon or item or whatever else. I would be curious to see if it's going to be like a mythic only, like, oh, you can only find it from vaults, or if it's going to be something where it's like, this is not a mythic only, you're going to be able to find it in floor loot, whatever else, it deals more damage depending on the rarity you have and everything, but of course it just really depends on how they manage to go about it. And then next up, I thought this was a shotgun when it got leaked, right? Because I had just woken up or whatever, and I'm looking at my phone like half awake, like, what's this going on? And while it's not a shotgun, it is a rocket, and this is a very, very interesting rocket, which I'm curious on how it's going to work, because it's called the Rocket Ram weapon. Now, regarding, what my theory on this is in particular, I think it's going to be like a normal rocket. Actually, no, I'm gonna give a wild theory that is most likely wrong, but we love making theories out here, so it's fun to just have our own little headcanons and stuff, and feel free to leave yours in the comments down below as well. But I feel like this is going to be a weapon that you don't have in your inventory forever. Imagine a weapon that you shoot, and it's like a one-time use. You shoot it out of your hand, because as you can see, there's like a little bit of a handle on the top still, and once you shoot it out of your hand, the entire weapon flies forwards and breaks whatever it hits. So it can go through builds and everything. It doesn't really have an explosion radius, but instead of being an explosive, it's more of just a bulldozer, right? So imagine a one-time weapon, you shoot it outwards, and it can bulldoze one-shot any build out there or anything, do some damage to players as well probably, and I feel like that is a way that this weapon could work, because it just looks like it has the interesting little, effect to it. They of course could make it a little bit different. They can make it so that top piece, the little armor plate or whatever else just shoots off instead, but I think considering that the very back of it actually has the little rocket, flares coming out of it, and the fact that the handles are still on the weapon, makes me think that you're shooting the entire weapon instead of just shooting whatever that armor ramming plate at the very end is. But of course, I would love to hear what everyone else thinks this means, you know, in terms of Fortnite and everything else, once it eventually does release into the game. Now, other than that, we don't really have any other images to show you, but we did have a hotfix update earlier today, where they went ahead and made it so that you actually were able to, you know, get the, well, actually, let's say it this way, right? Firstly, Bargain Bin Week in Fortnite has officially been enabled, so you can actually, you know, participate in that. You know, basically all the NPC cells are 50% off, so things that might have been 400 bars are now 200 bars, etc, etc, except for some weapons, because some weapons they don't really hotfix too often, just because I think they forgot about them, to be honest, because I mean, some NPCs you'll go to and they'll be like, oh yeah, I am selling nothing. Here's a buy button for a money icon, but you can't actually ever buy anything, right? So I feel like, you know, there will be some items that aren't on sale with the Bargain Bin Week, but a lot of things are going to be on sale with the Bargain Bin Week to be 50% off. So that's a nice little change for the next 3 days as we wait for the new season. But on top of that, we also got an update on the Jujutsu Kaisen x Fortnite collaboration. They went ahead and made it so that all of the mythics, so you know, the Hollow Purple, the Straw Dog Technique, those two mythics can now be bought from vending machines similar to the previous anime collaborations, such as the My Hero collaboration, such as, you know, just basically all of them before. And that is a nice little thing for you kind of, you know, deal with and have fun with, because, you know, who doesn't like having their own little mythics being able just to get purchased from the in-game's menu? And of course, that is just, you know, something to keep in mind, right? Is that we are slowly getting more and more of these little teasers and of these changes to the game, but I do think it's a little weird that they're waiting until now in order to give us, you know, the mythics through vending machines, considering the season has like 3 days left, right? It's like maybe they thought the weapons were too overpowered or something, they didn't want people getting them too frequently, or whatever else might be the case, but I still do think it's just a little odd how they're going about being like, hey, this is in the game now, you can enjoy it. But of course, you know, we might see it return in the future, something through vending machines or whatever else, if they get a second wave of the collaboration or anything like that. With that said, however, that is pretty much everything that's gone on in Fortnite earlier today, you know, and last night, you know, regarding changes and whatever else. There's been a ton of things happening, right? Like constant teasers, and the teasers aren't stopping, despite us not even knowing the season name. This has been one of the most teased seasons in a very long time, which I think further solidifies my point about Chapter 4 Season 3 being, you know, just kind of like a placeholder season that's just kind of there to exist because of how everything's been, right? Just because of how they've been treating everything. It really does feel like this is quite literally just a placeholder, you know, buffer season before the next season, which everyone's going to, you know, be praising for being, you know, super highly detailed, having like a million things in it or whatever else. So we really just kind of got to wait and see what awaits us in the brand new season. And who knows, maybe we're all getting ourselves too like overhyped or whatever, and it ends up being something that we're like, okay, it was fun at first, but then, you know, it got a little bit of boring or whatever else. We really just kind of got to wait and see. Regardless of what happens though, I will always be making content on this game, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride as we go through all the new things that are happening in the magical land of Fortnite. So until next time, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. I just booped my microphone on accident, and I will catch you guys later with another upload. Peace out.